insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now.
Hi, I'm IC. For many former servicemen and women with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. American Humane rescues animals needing forever homes and trains them to become free, life-saving service dogs for veterans in need. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling, go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
These days, news seems to come from all directions, and it can be overwhelming. Simplify your intake by watching news from where you live. WJFW NBC News Watch 12. We deliver critical local and national news, sports highlights, and weather updates. Watch us daily on Channel 12. Visit us at WJFW.com or like us on Facebook. We are NBC News Watch 12. Your weather forecast 24/7 on WJFW.com.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, the Republican-controlled Wisconsin Senate votes to repeal Governor Tony Evers' statewide mask mandate. We'll explain what happens next. Plus,
starting off with a few clouds this morning, but could we see some sunshine? Your full forecast is coming up.
20-year felonies with enhancements, you're looking at significant time in federal prison.
And at least 150 people have been federally charged for their role in the Capitol riot, according to court records and announcements from the Justice Department. We'll learn what's next for the defendants. It's Wednesday, January 27th.
Your local news and weather from where you live. News Watch 12 today starts now.
good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Marissa Silvas here with Peter Dubois. And Peter, yesterday it really was cool out, and there was kind of like a wispy little snow all day, but it really didn't amount to much. Yeah, some pretty snowfall coming down, but overall just a pretty chilly day. Sounds like that might be kind of the case again today. Exactly. For more on that, let's head right on over to our weather center. And Devin Biggs in for a first check of our forecast. And Devin, we know that we've been waiting for snow, waiting for winter a lot of the last few months, and it's definitely still going to continue this week.
Yeah, definitely going to continue to feel like winter for the next several days. Unfortunately, we'll have the cold, but not the snow. We definitely need the snow at this point, and unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot in the forecast. Let's show you what's going on over in Eagle River this morning. Overall, pretty quiet. We've had a few reports of flurries up in that neck of the woods, so some lake effect flurries not out of the question today, as we have some clouds streaming off of Lake Superior, so a few flurries possible, especially Vilas County today. Those will slowly taper off as the clouds will begin to break up too. But before those clouds moved in, look what the temperatures did. This is right now, though, 14 below in Phillips, 5 below in Tomahawk. Frostbite can occur quickly this morning, so make sure to have those gloves on and cover as much exposed skin as you can. Your remote learning forecast for today, starting off chilly, warming up into the middle teens by the afternoon period. Your full forecast is coming up. Peter?
Well, on Tuesday, the Wisconsin State Senate voted to repeal Governor Evers' statewide indoor mask mandate. All Republicans except for 2 voted in favor of the repeal. All Democrats voted to keep the mandate. Now, it still needs to be approved by the Assembly, which is likely to look at it on Thursday. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has stated his chamber is likely to approve the resolution as well. Vos recently cut an ad along with Democratic Representative Mark Pocan encouraging people to wear masks. However, he's spoken out against the governor mandating them. At least 23 groups, including several that represent healthcare workers, have given statements in favor of the mandate. Wisconsin just started vaccinating people over the age of 65 this week, but on Tuesday, the Department of Health Services announced who will be in the next group eligible to receive the vaccine. And that group includes people who work in education and child care, those enrolled in Medicaid long-term care programs, food and healthcare supply chain workers, prisoners, and mink farmers, among others. They're planning to start this group on March 1st. It could be earlier or later, depending on how many doses they receive from the federal government between now and then. Wisconsin is currently receiving about 70,000 vaccine doses from the government every week. Meanwhile, about 360,000 doses of the vaccine have now been distributed across Wisconsin. There have been more than 840,000 doses allocated to the Badger State. And remember, this is a two-shot process. Almost 70,000 people in Wisconsin have now completed their two-shot series. A Wisconsin pharmacist accused of trying to spoil dozens of vials of COVID-19 vaccine has agreed to plead guilty in federal court. 46-year-old Stephen Brandenburg of Grafton is charged with 2 counts of attempting to tamper with consumer products. He faces a maximum sentence of 10 years and a $250,000 fine on each count. Police arrested Brandenburg on December 31st as part of an investigation into how 57 vials of the Moderna vaccine were left out for hours outside of a refrigerator at Advocate Aurora Health in Grafton. That's a Milwaukee suburb. The vials contained enough vaccine to inoculate more than 500 people. Jason Baltz, Brandenburg's attorney, declined to comment on Tuesday to the Associated Press. And here in the Badger State, we've seen some encouraging signs in the fight to end the pandemic recently. The rolling 7-day average for the number of new confirmed cases in Wisconsin has now fallen for 15 straight days. The State Department of Health Services reports about 1,300 new cases on Tuesday. That brings our daily average for the last week down to about 1,500. The number of new deaths has been more up and down lately. DHS reporting 54 new deaths on Tuesday. That brings the daily average for the last week up slightly to 34. And in our 12-county north central Wisconsin region, DHS reported 79 people in the hospital right now with COVID-19. 23 of those are in the ICU. And as we look closer at our local numbers, the Oneida County Health Department reported 16 new cases. Its active total is at 143. 5 new cases in Price County, 1 new case in Forest County, 6 new cases in Langlade County. Lincoln County reported 5 new cases. Down in Marathon County, there were 30 new cases reported. Its active total staying below 1,000 at 944. Portage County reported 8 new cases. Its active total at 132. 10 new cases in Clark County. Iron, Vilas, and Wood County did not report. The very first confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Wisconsin were reported early last February, almost 1 year ago. And on Tuesday, UW health officials reflected on the past 12 months. Dr. Jeff Potoff says it's been hard on frontline healthcare workers as well as those in the medical communications business. He says his message has often been obscured by politicians and social media, and their own message has changed as they learned more about the virus.
Refuting a lot of the falsehoods that were out there, trying to be consistent with our message. And at the same time, we didn't know much about this disease. So what we were learning about it was changing, which I think even gave us as healthcare experts a bit of a credibility problem, because it's not like what we said on day one is what we said throughout the entire pandemic.
Now, Potoff says the pandemic also forced healthcare centers to make a lot of adjustments in how they treat patients, including relying more on virtual visits, setting up drive-through testing sites, and reconfiguring hospital spaces. Well, on Tuesday, all 100 U.S. senators were sworn in for the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. He faces a single article of impeachment, incitement of insurrection, tied to the mob attack on the Capitol earlier in the month. In what you might consider a trial preview, Senator Rand Paul raised concerns about whether it was constitutional to impeach a president who's no longer in office. All Democrats and 5 Republicans voted to continue. The rest of the Republicans said the trial is unconstitutional.
They don't want to argue the merits. The merits of the case are very clear, that we have a president who incited a violent attack on the United States Capitol and on our very democracy. So it's absolutely critical that we call that out and make sure that future presidents understand that this is completely unacceptable behavior and will never be tolerated by the American people.
I listened to President Biden talking about healing this nation, about uniting this nation. The trial in the Senate would not be healing. It'd be vindictive, it'd be more divisive.
Senate leaders agreed to begin the trial the week of February 8th. That's 2 weeks from now.
And that impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump is scheduled to start on February 9th. But the twice impeached Trump is far from the only person dealing with legal fallout from the day of the Capitol riots. John Lawrence has our report.
It's been 3 weeks since the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Since then, at least 150 people have been federally charged, according to court records and announcements from the Department of Justice.
We are closely looking at evidence related to the sedition charges. You know, those are the more significant. You're talking 20-year felonies. With enhancements, you're looking at significant time in federal prison.
Authorities have used hundreds of grand jury subpoenas and search warrants in this unparalleled, ongoing probe.
American people deserve to know how the attack happened, who was responsible for the siege.
The siege on the Capitol led House Democrats and 10 House Republicans to vote to impeach then-President Donald Trump, accusing him of encouraging the riot.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
The attorney for Jacob Chansley, the infamous QAnon shaman, says Trump was a major influence on his client.
He loved Trump, every word. He listened to him. He felt like he was answering the call of our president.
The Oregon Republican Party is backing Trump, issuing a formal condemnation of the House Republicans who voted for impeachment. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The FBI is offering up to $75,000 for assistance in finding who planted pipe bombs found outside of the Republican and Democratic Party headquarters during that riot. Well, it's now about 10 after 5, and coming up next in our international news, several people evacuated a spreading fire in the woodlands of Argentina. Plus, parts of Europe react to the spread of the new, more contagious coronavirus strains. We'll have those stories and more news from around the world when we come back.
The Vilas and Oneida County Snowmobile Clubs want you to have a safe and fun snowmobile season by remembering these simple guidelines. Always ride right, not just on the right side, but also ride appropriately. Always stay on the marked trails. Never ride alone. Know the snowmobiles you are riding. Wear a helmet and appropriate clothing. Always maintain a safe speed. Use caution when crossing marked lake trails. Learn and use the TINS signs in Oneida and Vilas counties, and always remember that alcohol and snowmobiling do not mix. Stay safe, enjoy the ride, and come back again.
I think RVA is doing an excellent job of preparing the kids for college. My daughter, who's a junior, is going to start college classes, and she could graduate with almost a full associate's degree.
I think the one thing that people should know about RVA is how well-rounded it is with all the extra things that they can do, not only through school, but through student council and National Honor Society.
The teachers are the best, and the students in RVA are really helpful. I think it's a great program.
Rhinelander Chrysler Jeep Ram. A great selection and great employees equal the greatest experience. 3620 North Highway 47, Rhinelander, Wisconsin.
Considering an online pharmacy? Explore BeSafeRx to find useful information and resources to help you purchase medicines safely online. A safe online pharmacy requires a doctor's prescription, has an address in the United States, has a licensed pharmacist, and is licensed by a state pharmacy board. It's best to stay away from online pharmacies that don't meet these criteria. Discover more helpful tips and resources at BeSafeRx. Go to fda.gov/BeSafeRx.
At WJFW, our Newswatch 12 News team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the North Woods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. NBC Newswatch 12. News from where you live.
And welcome back. We've made it to Wednesday morning, and we were clear for a little while last night, but now we have some clouds moving in from a couple sources. We have parts of Lake Superior right here, giving us a little bit of clouds, and a few flurries across parts of Vilas County this morning. Then otherwise, we have low pressure across parts of the country. There's a little bit of snow right here, and that's tracking off to the east, but for us, we just can't seem to buy snow around here. High pressure is going to be keeping us high and dry, and temperatures that will be cool, but you see these 20 below temperatures that are up near Canada and International Falls. That will stay to our north. We will still have temperatures getting below zero tonight, but for us, we will be looking pretty fine. A closer look for our temperatures, though, still show that temperatures are chilly out there this morning. These are air temperatures, not the wind chill. And there isn't much of a wind out there, so the wind chill is pretty much the air temperature this morning, with temperatures at 14 below in Phillips. Hayward's at 13 below. So again, frostbite 30 minutes or less, especially during, I'm going to stress that or less situation, especially for those cooler areas. So bundle up this morning. And if you're in Eagle River or Mantua waters, you might be seeing a few flurries this morning too. Now, temperatures over the past several days, we have been up and down with some above average temperatures, then below average temperatures. We've been up and down, and today and tomorrow we will be below average. Our average high now 22. We've hit the lower end of winter, and now we're going to start rebounding back up as we start getting closer to spring, although we're still quite a ways away from that. Today and tomorrow temperatures will be in the middle to upper teens, then lower 20s Friday into Saturday. Then we start warming things back up closer to 30 by next week, lower 30s. So the sun's rays may get a little stronger and melt some of that snow, but we'll be keeping that 6-inch snow base for a little while. And February 1st through the 5th, definitely showing chances that this trend will continue with us being above average in the temperature department for a little while, and our average high being 22 degrees. So pretty easy to get temperatures above average, especially when you get into the middle to upper 20s and even lower 30s around these parts. So futurecast for today. So we have the clouds to the south and some clouds off of Lake Superior. We're going to see all of that taper off later on tonight, and that's going to allow things to get really cold tonight. High pressure will set up shop, and with mostly clear skies and a still wind, temperatures will fall below 0 tonight. We'll watch for chances for clouds that will move in on Thursday, but overall we'll call it partly cloudy as we'll see some peaks of sunshine at times. Temperatures will be chilly during your Thursday also. So for today, 15 degrees, some lake effect snow for our northern counties, more Vilas County than anything else. Then clouds breaking up throughout the day with that northwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead towards tonight, man, it's getting cold tonight. 6 below, mostly clear skies. Other areas will get a little cooler. The north breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour at times, but then getting a little calmer after that. Here's a look at your Northwoods furniture and mattress 7-day forecast. So here we are. Some lake effect flurries for Vilas County this morning. Otherwise, we're dry Thursday and Friday. Now Saturday. Saturday night into Sunday, a little bit of snow before we dry out after that. Marissa?
Thanks, Devin. Firefighters combated a huge fire on Tuesday that broke out in the woodland of Argentina's Rio Negro province. The wildfire has injured at least one person and caused the evacuation of several others. The flames have destroyed 15,000 acres in the surroundings of a tourist town that's close to Patagonia and the border with Chile. The Rio Negro authorities, where the town is located, say the fire broke out on Sunday for unknown reasons and is being fought by several dozen fire brigade members. The affected area is mountainous and has some valleys, which is making it difficult to extinguish the fire. The Argentine National Meteorological Service indicated that the South American country experienced an extensive and prolonged drought last year that's affected more than half of that territory. The lack of rain made 2020 the driest year since 1995. Countries across Europe are reacting as new variants of coronavirus push case numbers higher. In the Netherlands, anti-lockdown protests left windows smashed and a supermarket was looted in the city of Eindhoven, where police clashed with hundreds of rioters on Monday night. Politicians and local leaders condemned the violence that spread along 10 towns and cities across the Netherlands. More than 180 protesters were arrested for participating in violent anti-lockdown demonstrations. On Tuesday, Indian farmers protesting against agricultural reforms raced tractors up and down the streets of the capital and clashed with police. Farmers are angered by laws that they say help large private buyers at the expense of producers. They've camped outside New Delhi for almost 2 months. Agriculture employs about half of India's population of 1.3 billion, and unrest among an estimated 150 million farmers worries the government. 9 rounds of talks with farmers' unions have failed to end those protests, and the government's offered to amend the laws and suspend their implementation for 18 months. But farmers insist they will settle for nothing less than a complete repeal.
Well, it's about 5:18, and coming up in medical news, a new study tells us more about smoking-related cancer deaths, plus why teens are more at risk for being involved in speeding-related crashes. Those stories and more health news when we come back.
Up
Update any room of your home with Dutch Boy paint from Menards. Dutch Boy Forever is an interior paint and primer in one with Arm & Hammer odor-reducing technology. It offers advanced washability and stain resistance to block common household stains. Plus, we can tint your paint to match any color in your home. Pick up a gallon of Dutch Boy Forever paint and primer in one today for only $27.98 during Menards Home Improvement Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
Your eyes are everything. They're how you see the world and connect with others. At Shopko Optical, your eyes are everything to us too, which is why we offer everything to help you see better and look better. A huge selection of designer frames, convenient locations, and experienced optometrists. We're Shopko Optical. You'll see. Right now, get 50% off frames with any lens purchase.
My name's Arthur, Merrill, Wisconsin. In August of 2019, I started getting numbness in my feet. By July of 2020, my feet were so numb, I lost a sense of balance. I thought I was walking on stilts. I seen this ad for Spinal Aid. I took 20 treatments from them, and by then my feet were 90% better and no longer felt as I was walking on stilts.
Are you experiencing weakness, numbness, and/or pain in your feet or hands? These sensations might even be affecting other areas of your body along with your balance. You might have already been diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and are taking drugs such as Lyrica, gabapentin, or Cymbalta that never seems to help. Neuropathy pain ultimately diminishes your quality of life. Call Spinal Aid of Wausau today to see if our treatment methods are right for you. Call 715-203-1508 to schedule your neuropathy severity consultation or visit us at spinalaid.com.
$3,000 cash reward for information leading to the arrest of individuals who poisoned 3 dogs and wildlife in Lake Tomahawk. Contact Happy's Pub for more information.
Hi, I'm Brian from Creative Granite. When I need the forecast from Minocqua, I go to WJFW.com for my hometown forecast.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
And welcome back. You'll want the winter coats and to bundle up this morning. It is cold in spots, although not as cold as, say, International Falls. They're at 26 below this morning. But there are a few areas in our viewing area that are very chilly, 15 below in Phillips, and many other areas being below 0. So make sure to bundle up as you head out the door. Peter?
Thanks, Devin. The CDC estimates 1 in 5 Americans has a sexually transmitted infection. The findings are based on data from 2018. On any given day that year, about 68 million Americans had some form of STI, and nearly half of all newly diagnosed infections were in people between 15 and 24 years old. Untreated STIs can increase the risk of HIV infection, pelvic inflammatory disease, and infertility. Teenage drivers and passengers are more likely to be killed in a speeding-related accident than any other age group. That's according to a new report from the Governor's Highway Safety Association that examined data from 2015 to 2019. During that time, 43% of traffic fatalities among teens involved speeding. Among drivers over 20, 30% of deadly accidents were due to speeding. A new study reveals just how many cancer deaths are linked to smoking across the United States. Researchers from the American Cancer Society looked at the proportion of smoking-related cancer deaths in 152 geographic areas. They found a wide variation ranging from just 8% in parts of Utah and Idaho to over 35% in areas of Kentucky. In fact, areas with the highest rates of smoking-related cancer deaths were in the South and Appalachian.
It's now about 5:22, and coming up, there was a lot of uncertainty about Aaron Rodgers' future with the Packers following Sunday's loss to the Buccaneers. Well, Aaron finally spoke out about where he stands with the team. We'll hear what he had to say when we come back in just 2 minutes.
Marilyn Milian, Justice.
Just stop. What you don't know about the law would fill a library. Pay the man.
The People's Court.
On December 7, 2005, I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq. As I was searching for the bomb, the bad guy and the bomb found me first. After the explosion, I was left with a 1% chance of living from the injuries I sustained. During my road to recovery, it was a challenge, mostly trying to figure out what life would be like with my new physical injuries. But throughout that road to recovery, I had a tremendous amount of support from friends and families and the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. The primary mission of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is to offer financial emergency assistance to veterans and their families. In most cases, there is a loved one back at home who has to drop everything they're doing to be at that veteran's bedside. And of course, there are huge financial burdens that come along with that. After veterans come through the Coalition's program, they are ready to be back into society, ready to go back to work, and ready to be a leader in their own community.
Visit saluteheroes.org to learn more.
Unused prescription opioid pain medicines can spell many things. Risk, if they're taken by someone they weren't prescribed for. Harm, if accidentally taken by a child or a pet. And overdose, if they're not used as directed. They may be hiding in your home, in bathrooms, kitchens, or anywhere. Why put your family at risk? Safely dispose of opioids before they can do harm. The best thing is to find a drug take-back option, such as medicine drop-off boxes, mail-back programs, or home disposal products. If there isn't a take-back location near you, check the FDA's flush list. Medicines on the flush list may be especially dangerous if they are used by children, pets, or others in your home. No take-back location nearby and your medicine isn't on the flush list? You can dispose of it in the trash. Get more information on safe opioid disposal and remove the risk.
This month on Up North at 4, we will be kicking off our new How We Got Here series by asking local historians about the origins of where we live. And while we're at it, learn about where the names of Northwoods communities come from.
Welcome back. All right, Packer fans, let's everybody take a deep breath. We know that things have been difficult, of course. Green Bay lost another NFC Championship game, this time against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It was a tough loss, and it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, and that was until the press conferences after the game. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers was obviously very upset after that loss, saying he felt gutted. A game that he knew they had opportunities to win, but just came up short. He then later said, quote, "A lot of guys' futures, they're uncertain, myself included." Now, this created a panic in Green Bay, but Rodgers cleared up the air on the Pat McAfee show.
Now, obviously, after the season that I had and, potentially win an MVP, and, we obviously made it another good run, I don't think that there's any reason why I wouldn't be back. But, look, I think there's not many absolutes, as you guys know, in this business.
So there you go. Rodgers puts everyone's minds at ease for now. And you guys, I listened to a lot of that Pat McAfee show yesterday because I was so curious to hear what Aaron was going to say. And he basically said, look, after the game, it was a really difficult loss, and you're not going to come out and make any grandiose statements about your future after the game. And he still has to go through the process of doing all of his exit interviews for the season, talk to everybody that he normally talks to, and just kind of see where everybody's at. So he basically was just telling everyone, relax, which is good because so many people were freaking out.
Of course, yeah, he didn't have much to say after that game, but, the little that he did say, of course, had people concerned who are already, upset over that loss. But I think that does kind of take a little bit of a burden off people's shoulders right now. And I myself, can't even imagine Rodgers at this point playing in another uniform. But he just seems, to be such a great fit. And after the season he just had, just a great season, I couldn't see it. But Devin, maybe a little cold to be throwing the pigskin out there this morning.
Yeah, anytime I think of Green Bay, I think Aaron Rodgers right away. So it'd be very weird to have Rodgers leaving. So hopefully they have him for just a little while longer. But yeah, out here this morning, very chilly out here. And every now and again, I'm seeing a few flurries falling. And any flurries that we are seeing courtesy of Lake Superior. It's 1 degree in Rhinelander right now with those clouds sticking around. And a west breeze at around 3 miles per hour. Same in Wausau, 3 degrees, so a little chilly out there. And across the viewing area, Ouch, look at Phillips, 15 degrees below zero this morning. You want to make sure to cover up as much exposed skin as possible because it is chilly out there. Frostbite can happen very quickly. And as you can see, we have clouds off of Lake Superior this morning, and that's why we're seeing a few flurries in a few spots. That travel forecast here on this Wednesday, upper teens across the western parts of the state. We will also do middle teens, which is below average for us for this time of the year. The southern parts of the state will see temperatures in the teens and 20s with those clouds sticking around for a little while. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Have you ever looked up how much of an appliance is made in the U.S.? At Maher Water Corporation, we use systems that are 90% made in the U.S. In fact, over 80% of the unit is made right here in the Midwest, and 75% of the entire unit is made right here in our beautiful state of Wisconsin. Combining the local made product with a local family company means money spent here stays here. So call us today to meet our Wisconsin-made family.
Do you struggle to open or close your windows? Are they drafty or leaky? Are you constantly adjusting your thermostat only to have your energy bill skyrocket? If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution. They custom build and install weather-tight replacement windows and back them with a generous, fully transferable limited warranty.
Call now to schedule your free design consultation. Plus, take advantage of this limited time offer with incredible savings and attractive financing. Don't miss out. Call Renewal by Andersen today.
Olson Solar Energy wants you to know that there's a lot to consider when you think about solar energy. Consider a lower or no energy bill. There's a federal tax credit as well as other rebates and incentives to consider. You may not have considered that a solar energy system increases property value without increasing property taxes and works for homes and businesses. Isn't it time to consider a free evaluation? Call 579-0474 or go to olsonsolarenergy.com.
You're watching News Watch 12 today with Marissa Silvas, Peter Dubois, and Devin Biggs.
Good morning and thanks for waking up with us today. It's Wednesday, January 27th. Former Wauwatosa officer Joseph Mensah has been hired again as a member of the Waukesha Sheriff's Department. Mensah has been involved in 3 separate fatal shootings in the past 5 years.
WISN's Nick Bohr talked with the Sheriff's Department to explain the hire.
The fatal shooting of Alvin Cole a year ago sparked protests in Wauwatosa. His family joined in outrage by those of Jay Anderson and Antonio Gonzalez. All 3 were killed in separate shootings by Officer Joseph Mensah. He was cleared by the DA each time, but still resigned in a separation agreement with the city.
I feel positive that Joe is going to be a good addition to our organization.
Now he's been hired as a deputy by the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department after applying for a job online.
Did you solicit an application from Officer Mensah? No, I did not.
Did you review all 3 of those fatal uses of force?
We did. We did. We looked at that as being a lawful use of force, as has been concluded by many others, including the Milwaukee DA.
The attorney for the 3 families isn't holding back.
This is only an emotional hire. This is a frankly stupid hire. And I think it has completely widened the legal liability of Waukesha County.
Kimberly Motley has maintained for months that Mensah should have been fired by the Wauwatosa Police and Fire Commission. Sheriff Severson says he took all of that into account.
Southeast Wisconsin is his community, and this is where he wants to police. He submitted a qualification application that met our needs, and we looked at it carefully, and I found a police officer candidate that I think will serve the community. I'll tell you this, if my family needs a police officer, I hope Joseph Mensah is the first one at my door. That's how confident I am in his ability.
Back here in our area, we are definitely starting out on the frigid side this morning.
Yes, we are. Temperatures waking up in the negative degrees in a lot of places. But for more on how warm it's going to get throughout the day, let's head on over to our Weather Center with Devin Biggs in for a first check of our forecast. And Devin, it is going to warm up a bit, but not too much throughout the day.
Yeah, not too much as what we should be at for this time of the year. Our average high is actually now ticking back up to 22 degrees, so we're starting to work our way back up. So for those of you that love warmer weather, we're starting to get close with this morning. Doesn't quite feel like it. Let's show you what's going on in Eagle River right now. Cool out there this morning and also quiet too. A few flurries falling in a few spots, but otherwise here we are. We have some clouds off of Lake Superior, and that light breeze and those clouds allowing a few flurries to fall across our neck of the woods this morning. Here are those temperatures. Ouch, 15 below in Phillips, 2 below in Tomahawk. These temperatures can cause frostbite very quickly, so make sure to bundle up as you head out the door. Here's a bus stop forecast for you today. 2 degrees, many other areas well below zero under mostly cloudy skies as you get the kids off to school. Sunshine will return this afternoon, but only 15 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Marissa?
All righty, thanks so much, Devin. Well, numbers from turkey season are in, and DNR officials say that hunters registered 4,600 birds during the fall wild turkey season, which is more than the previous year. They add the harvest success rate was about 5.6%, and that is slightly better than in 2019. While the COVID-19 pandemic has been really difficult on so many businesses, in some parts of the country, including the Northwoods, it's been a big boost to the real estate industry. Local realtors say every county in the Northwoods region saw an increase in sales and also sale prices. As a whole, the Northwoods region saw an average increase of 31% in the number of sales.
Once you pass that, I don't even know, I always say it's past Irma, that it's just a different feeling. There's more trees, there's more water, you can fish all day and you can go to different lakes, which is so cool.
Now, they suspect a lot of the increase in sales had to do with the people wanting to get away from big cities and get into more rural, less crowded areas. Minocqua realtor Pat Van Hefty says right now, if you're looking to buy a home in the area, you're going to have to act quickly.
When a property comes available, there are a lot of people out there that are looking at it, and it typically is something that's going to move quickly.
Van Hefty says right now there just aren't many local homes on the market. However, he suspects more people will be selling when spring arrives.
Well, it's now about 5:35, and coming up we have some news you can use, including how Amazon's Alexa is getting even smarter. We'll explain. Plus, how some new smart home technology could help you save big on your utility bill. Those stories and more consumer news after this.
This portion of Newswatch 12 is brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services.
Welcome to Bell Tower Residence. Residents lovingly call Bell Tower home.
You can be as quiet as you want or as busy as you want. There's always something scheduled to do. There's trips to take.
They take good care of the rooms and they take good care of me. Anytime I need anything they're right there for me.
And the best part is all the wonderful friends I've made.
Bell Tower Residence, 1500 O'Day Street, Merrill.
Look at you. No braces, all the internet you can handle. I wasn't so lucky.
Invis is not your parents' braces. Invis is predictable, less painful, more comfortable. Invisalign.
My lips get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keefe's Lip Repair. It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Also available in O'Keefe's Working Hands. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands.
$3,000 cash reward for information leading to the arrest of individuals who poisoned 3 dogs and wildlife in Lake Tomahawk. Contact Happy's Pub for more information.
Get your Newswatch 12 ski and snowboard report every week on Newswatch 12 at 6 and 10 Thursday night and Newswatch 12 Today Friday mornings. The Newswatch 12 ski and snowboard report is brought to you by Sure Dry Basement Systems.
Welcome to the show. I am Ellen DeGeneres. You will be my virtual audience.
Somebody cough. I heard a cough.
Every day, Hollywood's biggest stars and your favorite games.
I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Ellen Season 18 is so big.
That's not as big as I thought that would be.
Chillin', weekdays at 3 p.m.
And welcome back. So here we are. We have some clouds moving in from a couple sources this morning. We have a little bit coming across parts of Lake Superior, just slowly moving down to the south, giving a few of our northern counties some flurries this morning. Otherwise, we have low pressure off towards our south and west, causing some snow across parts of the Midwest. But for us, we're just high and dry. Just some clouds moving through. And high pressure, that's constant again, that little breeze over Lake Superior, just enough to get us some flurries moving through this morning. But otherwise, the big story, the cold temperatures. Look at the cool temperatures up in northern Minnesota, where it's 26 below in International Falls. And for us here at home, it's also chilly, with many areas seeing 15 below temperatures in Phillips, and other areas kind of above zero or just slightly below 0-2. Frostbite can occur very quickly this morning, so make sure to bundle up before heading out the door. Temperatures over the past several days have been really kind of up and down. We've had days above average, we've had days below average, so up and down, up and down. And today will be down again, as well as tomorrow, with temperatures well below normal for this time of the year. However, some good news. Look at our average high now at 22 degrees, not 21 degrees, so we're turning the corner on winter. But however, it will not feel that way today, with temperatures that will be in the middle to upper teens, but slowly starting to work their way back up into the upper 20s as we head towards the weekend into Monday, and maybe even some 30s returning later on next week. So overall, between February 1st and 5th, here's the temperature outlook. And overall, this trend looks to continue, with good probabilities of us being above average, especially in the darker shades of the warmer color here. So the warmer it is, the better chances of us being above average. So here's futurecast for today. So we have clouds to the south and to the north too from a couple different sources. We'll see that for most of the day, but as we head towards the afternoon period, those will really break up and the sun will really become more abundant. But otherwise, temperature is getting very chilly tonight, courtesy of the clear skies. So we'll start off clear for your Thursday, maybe a few passing clouds as we head throughout the day, but otherwise our day looking pretty quiet, especially as we head towards Thursday night. So tonight and tomorrow night looking very chilly in the temperature department. So for today, 15 degrees. We do have those lake effect snow showers, more flurries than anything else across Vilas County, and some of them making it into Oneida County too. Then decreasing clouds throughout the day with that northwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And the winds really go light tonight with 6 below for your overnight temperature. Mostly clear skies and very cold. We'll have a north breeze early at 5 to 10 miles per hour, but will be going calm late. Looking ahead towards tomorrow, 17 degrees, partly cloudy skies. That northwest wind again at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and so below average for this time of the year. But we will work on the temperatures. Your Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast. Thursday and Friday, a mixture of clouds and sun, temperatures in the teens. Then low 20s by Friday. We pulled the snow out for Saturday. A small chance Saturday night into Sunday, but then we're dry again Monday into Tuesday. We just can't seem to get snow around here. Temperatures getting close to 30. Peter?
Thanks, Devin. Well, Carnival Cruise Line is canceling and delaying more U.S. trips. This tops our consumer news this morning. Carnival says Magic, Paradise, and Valor ships won't return to operation until November 2021. The move comes as new cases of COVID-19 are averaging about 170,000 per day in the country. Carnival's planned seasonal service out of San Diego has also been suspended until further notice. The company said on Monday that some trips from California to Hawaii will continue, though. Carnival began warning travelers of cancellations on Friday. Travel agencies are now predicting July will be the best case scenario for a gradual return for cruises in North America. Amazon has introduced a new feature allowing Alexa to proactively complete tasks around the house, such as turning lights on or off, based on your habits and frequent requests. Alexa has been able to sense these habits and ask you about them for a few years in what the company calls hunches. But before this update, it would ask for permission before acting. Now, Alexa will just skip asking and just do it.
Very interesting.
If you've ever woken up in a hotel room sweating because the air
event.
conditioner shut off unexpectedly, this product might one day change your life. It's the XK400 sensor from Xander Cardian, a Consumer Electronics Show winner for smart home innovation.
So we're providing a whole new generation of home automation devices that reacts according to your body's information.
Businesses often use infrared sensors to shut off the air or lights if you've left the room. They work well enough but aren't very accurate. If you don't make big movements while you're working or sleeping, they can't tell that you're there. The Xander Cardian sensor uses radar and is 99.9% accurate.
Radar technology is safe to use, is discreet, and it basically is unique by sensing micro vibration patterns coming from the body.
Vibrations like your heart rate and breathing patterns. That means in tomorrow's smart home, your devices will be able to tell if you've fallen asleep and adjust automatically.
Yeah, let's say, for example, you enter the house, you're tired, and so you may fall asleep. Our sensor will be able to monitor the body motion going very flat, so you're not moving.
If the sensor determines your heart rate has dropped to a certain point,
you can dim down the lights or turn off the lights, turn off the TV, and adjust the temperature accordingly.
And it goes well beyond turning appliances on or off. The radar sensor could detect intruders. It could even call a family member if you fall or have a sudden dangerous change in heart rate. With such precise sensors becoming mainstream,
Alexa,
soon talking to a smart device might seem old-fashioned. Chris Pallone, NBC News.
They'll research what people are spending money on, how their quality of life has improved or not, and various other things.
The city of Wausau approved a pilot program that will provide several low-income families with $500 per month. Coming up at 6, find out what this study program hopes to accomplish. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Justin Scherer, DC with the Spinal Aid Center of Wausau. Are you one of the millions of people suffering with the symptoms of peripheral neuropathy? Your symptoms may include numbness and tingling in your feet or hands, difficulty sleeping from leg or foot discomfort, and debilitating balance problems. I have good news for you. You can now get relief with our breakthrough treatment method without the use of drugs or surgery. Our treatments help to heal damaged nerves that cause peripheral neuropathy. If left untreated, you may eventually end up with a walker or wheelchair, so don't delay. Call our office now to schedule an appointment to see if our treatment methods are right for you. We will do a painless neuropathy severity exam to determine the amount of nerve loss. If you qualify for our treatment, it can truly change your life. Start living your life pain-free. Call today.
For the most up-to-the-minute info on your school closings, visit WJFW.com on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. WJFW School Closings, sponsored by Marcel's Fireplace and Stoves and Builders Service Incorporated.
Mondays on Newswatch 12 today features Mugshot Monday. But what exactly is Mugshot Monday?
It starts with the opportunity to win a 12-ounce bag of coffee, with the coffee being sourced from in between the tropics across the world, then brought in here to Eagle River Roasters and roasted to perfection.
Have a good day. And with that, you'll also win an Eagle River Roasters coffee mug, perfect for that first cup of coffee with your favorite morning crew.
Join us on Monday mornings to see this week's winner.
Register online at WJFW.com.
I used to drive an ambulance as an EMT, and I've always tried to be a safe driver. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. In my car, if I see a truck or bus taking a turn, I know to take my time. When big vehicles turn right, they may swing wide to make the turn. If you try to sneak in, well, it's a lesson you'd rather not learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait. It's our roads, it's our safety.
Justin Betty and meteorologist Jeff Weller bring you the local news and weather from the North Woods alongside the WJFW Evening News Team. Watch Justin and Jeff weekday evenings at 5, 6, and 10 on Newswatch 12.
Welcome back. A hot new trend at restaurants up north this winter has customers heading outside despite the cold.
That's right. Aaron Hassanzadeh shows us the creative ways one establishment in Minneapolis is helping people deal with their cabin fever.
It's a new trend for the bold north lifestyle. Leaning further into winter by cozying up at an ice bar.
We challenged our bar team to come up with a whole new menu just for this.
At the How in Minneapolis, it's not just shots served from ice glasses. It's new cocktails like the summer campfire with a torched marshmallow. The perfect blend of fire and ice.
Yeah, this is a maple old-fashioned with candy bacon on top.
After you roast malo, have your Bach beer poked.
Oh, yeah.
And caramelized to perfection.
It is. It's like warm foam. Yeah.
Cold beer.
Good combo.
We wanted to do something unique and different to attract not only our dining customers, but also people that may not be comfortable dining inside.
The coolest attraction here,
Nice!
the ice games, of course.
We got beanbag toss, we got beer pong.
You may think there's no way there would be an ice shortage here, but one ice dealer says otherwise.
We're very short on ice. It takes about 4 days to make one of these 300-pound ice blocks, so it's not something that you just stick in your freezer and overnight. This feels a lot like Super Bowl.
And Eric Eastman with Minnesota Ice would know.
We've evolved into one of the largest sculpture-grade ice manufacturers in North America. It's not, distilled water. It's not unicorn tears in the water. It's a process called directional freezing.
The St. Paul-based company brings elaborate ideas to life. Today, the crew is assembling these 300-pound blocks for customers at Tequila Butcher to enjoy, turning the patio into a destination.
This is a perfect opportunity to give them some business.
He says if the weather holds, the masterpieces can last 6 weeks or longer. So think warm thoughts and enjoy the fun before it melts.
Come on out for an hour and have a little bit of fun, even in the middle of the winter here in Minnesota.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers with the mini donuts, too. Cheers.
Oh, that's great. I love this story, and I feel like it really speaks to the spirit of the Midwest, right? Like by embracing the cold temperatures, and of course, not everyone really comfortable dining inside at the moment. So being able to kind of come together and connect outside and also enjoy like a nice adult beverage is really cool, especially in an atmosphere like that.
Yeah, it's such a great idea, and it's also really interesting to learn more about the process of making those ice blocks, too. And Devin, I think it's certainly something that we could take advantage of today with those temperatures out there.
Yeah, without a doubt. Temperature is chilly today with a little bit of snow falling, and any snow that is out here to have some fun in the snow, just not that light, fluffy snow. And, of course, I had to throw some snow right on me, so lucky me on that situation. Let's show you the current temperatures right now, and they're cool out there this morning, too. It's really chilly in Eagle River, where right now it's looking pretty good, but temperatures, that's the big story. It's 8 degrees in Eagle River, but 15 below in Phillips and 7 below in Medford. So bundle up. Frostbite can occur in 30 minutes or less, but still it can occur very quickly as we have a little bit of clouds off of Lake Superior giving us a few flurries, and of course some clouds to the south too. Upper teens across the western parts of the state with some sunshine and clouds mixed. We'll have the same thing for us, only middle teens, so a below average, and down toward the south. Temperatures not too shabby there in the teens and 20s with mostly cloudy skies. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Let me introduce me. Here I come. Yeah.
Cuts, colors, braids, and fades. We stand for style. Cost Cutter Salons.
Whether you're just starting out, looking for a change, or returning to the industry, Cost Cutters will help you grow and support you in achieving your career goal. Learn more today at costcutters.com/careers.
Whatever your style, we stand for style. Visit costcutters.com to find your nearest location.
Is skincare from around the world better than Olay? To find out, Olay faced the world. We tested our vitamin B3 formula and beat Japan's top moisturizers, South Korea's most innovative, and even the $400 French cream. Olay Regenerist faced 131 premium products from 12 countries over 10 years. Olay's hydration was unbeaten every time. Olay, face anything.
On December 7, 2005, I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq. As I was searching for the bomb, the bad guy and the bomb found me first. After the explosion, I was left with a 1% chance of living from the injuries I sustained. During my road to recovery, it was a challenge, mostly trying to figure out what life would be like with my new physical injuries. But throughout that road to recovery, I had a tremendous amount of support from friends and families and the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. The primary mission of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is to offer financial emergency assistance to veterans and their families. In most cases, there is a loved one back at home who has to drop everything they're doing to be at that veteran's bedside. And of course, there are huge financial burdens that come along with that. After veterans come through the Coalition's program, they are ready to be back into society, ready to go back to work, and ready to be a leader in their own community.
Visit SaluteHeroes.org to learn more.
You're watching News Watch 12 today with Marissa Silvas, Peter Dubois, and Devin Biggs.
And welcome back. Snowfall across Wisconsin Tuesday. A signal winter is really here. A major winter storm hit the Midwest, leaving behind several inches of snow in Milwaukee. The city declared a snow emergency as several inches of snow fell Monday night and continued into Tuesday. As much as 6 inches of snow fell across the greater Milwaukee area. The winter weather forced closures of businesses and cancellations at COVID-19 vaccination sites. In Madison, heavy snow fell Monday night as well into Tuesday, and residents awoke to find several inches of snow on the ground, which made for a treacherous commute for many who were out and about. Snowfall totals for areas around Madison range from 3 inches to more than 8 inches in a few spots, and we just can't seem to get snow around here. It just keeps going around us to the northwoods, the southern parts of the state, and pretty much anywhere else. I keep throwing Iowa out there because they seem to be getting all the snow lately.
I know, we're definitely jealous of all those areas, and I was watching the coverage yesterday morning by a lot of the Milwaukee stations and really feeling for all the reporters and photographers out there in the elements, because not only was it the snow, but it looked really, really windy out there as well.
Yeah, they've gotten so much snow. It seems like any time, you know, Wisconsin as a state has gotten snow, we've gotten just like a little bit, a little taste, and, you know, those southern areas really seeing a lot more of it. Devin, I'd be curious to know just how much snow in comparison they've gotten this season compared to us, but it seems like, you know, they've been graced with a little bit more.
Yeah, it seems like they've been graced with just a little bit more. That would be something that we've had to dig into a little bit, but it's safe to say we've definitely seen less with these very little amounts every now and there, and 27 inches so far on the season. But there's that radar loop from yesterday of that snow that had moved through this. It really kind of took its time to get out of here, and by around the middle parts of the day on Tuesday, things really begun to taper off. Skipping ahead towards today, we do have a little bit of lake effect snow chances across our northern counties. Otherwise, we have clouds that will be breaking up throughout the day. Temperatures in the teens today, partly cloudy tomorrow and Friday, getting back close to average on Friday. Marissa?
We're definitely still holding out for more snow, and as we well know, there can be big storms in February and March and April, so we still have some time, guys. I feel good about that. Thanks so much, Devin. Yep. Alrighty, well, coming up next on Newswatch 12 today, a pilot program will provide a supplemental monthly income to some local families.
We got that story for you, plus a look at how the pandemic is affecting the foster care system. That's all coming up in the next half hour, but first, you're waking up with Newswatch 12 today on NBC.
Are your floors looking worn and outdated? Stop by Eagle Floor Covering in Eagle River for all your flooring needs.
View our large selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and area rugs.
We have a knowledgeable staff, competitive pricing, and free estimates. Locally owned and operated for over 2 decades.
Come in and let over 40 years of combined sales and service experience help you select the right floor for your lifestyle and budget.
Eagle Floor Covering on Twilight Lane off Highway 70 West, across from Eagle River Cabinets.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Marilyn Milian, Justice.
Just stop. What you don't know about the law would fill a library. Pay the man.
The People's Court.
K&S Fuel Injection and Service Center is your source for specialty in light and medium duty diesel repair. We have a crane truck that will come to you on site and service your farm, construction, and forestry equipment. At K&S, we have been rebuilding injection pumps, injectors, and turbos for over 40 years. We have the experience and knowledge to get you back up and running in a timely manner. Visit K&S Fuel Injection and Service Center in Weston today for all automotive repairs, gas or diesel.
When searching for your next truck, you want your truck to last. Get the job done right with a Lenz truck. We have them all. Half-ton trucks, Power Strokes, Cummins, Duramax, SUVs, over 800 to choose from. Know that all Lenz trucks are fully inspected, certified clean, and can be bought hassle-free online. Go now to lenztruck.com.
Lenz Truck. Lenz Truck. We got the trucks at Lenz Truck.
We got the trucks.
At WJFW, our Newswatch 12 news team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most of all to the Northwoods. Our team is committed to the community and ensuring that you are as informed as possible. The Newswatch 12 team works hard to deliver the most important stories from around the globe, local and national sports updates, and weather reports. We are NBC Newswatch 12, news from where you live.
Hi, I'm Dean Hoger with Miracle-Ear of Rhinelander. If you're struggling to hear your favorite news and entertainment shows, stop in and see me for a free hearing test.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, a pilot program proposal in Wausau includes giving some families who are living at or below the poverty line a roughly $500 per month income. We'll learn more from the mayor. Plus,
temperatures are cold out there this morning, but could we see the sun? Your full forecast is coming up.
And the number of children needing foster care placement continues to rise during the pandemic. We'll hear more about the need from local social workers. It's Wednesday, January 27th.
Your local news and weather from where you live. Newswatch 12 today starts now.
Good morning and thanks for waking up with us today. I'm Peter Dubois here with Marissa Silvas. Well, on Tuesday, the Wausau's Finance Committee approved a proposal to join a pilot program that would give supplemental guaranteed incomes to some struggling families.
Now, that program will give roughly 15 to 20 families $500 per month for 16 months. It's funded through a philanthropy effort from a group called Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, who have similar proposals in some other cities across the country. Mayor Katie Rosenberg says the study in Wausau would allow them to see how the money flows through the community.
They'll research what people are spending money on, how their quality of life has improved or not, and various other things. And it kind of will give the foundation for some bigger policy decisions across the United States.
That data will be used to build up support for a federal program. Wausau, if approved, will be the smallest city participating in this study, letting them see how the program would work in fairly rural communities.
And so we launched Mayors for a Guaranteed Income to show that, especially in this moment where COVID-19 is highlighting and making worse institutional flaws, that a guaranteed income and an income floor is really important for all Americans.
The Finance Committee unanimously voted to move ahead with the proposal. That means it will go before the full City Council on February 9th for full consideration. So, of course, very interesting and very nice to be able to help any families who are in need right now.
Absolutely. I think it's a very interesting idea. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But looking outside this morning, what's not so nice is the temperatures as we're waking up. Some areas in the negative degrees. For more on what to expect, though, let's head on over to our Weather Center with Devin Biggs in for a first check of our forecast. And Devin, things will get a little bit warmer today, but it certainly won't feel tropical at all.
Yeah, to say the least, Peter, not feeling very tropical at all. We have a few more months to go before we get back into that category. But this morning, it definitely is chilly out there, so you'll definitely want the winter coats and the layers. Let's show you what's going on right now. Quiet in Eagle River this morning. There's some snow out there on the ground. At least here in Rhinelander, we have around 6 inches of snow here for our base right now. Here we are. So radar and satellite, we have a little bit of clouds coming off of Lake Superior. A few very small flurries mixing in and some clouds from the south too. Otherwise, temperatures right now 16 below in Phillips, 4 below in Tomahawk. Bundle up today because you can get frostbite in as little as 30 minutes or less should you not take precautions, so make sure to do so. Otherwise, your remote learning forecast, we will warm up today, but not by much. Warming up into the middle teens by the afternoon period. Your full forecast is coming up. Marissa?
Thanks, Devin. For foster children and foster parents, the COVID-19 pandemic is continuing to take a toll in more ways than one. Across the Northwoods, social workers say the pandemic has made the drug epidemic even worse, putting more children in danger. Yet, with more people stuck at home, there's also less awareness of those who are in trouble.
We were barely getting referrals. When that stay-at-home order ended, we saw a huge increase in the amount of referrals we were getting on a daily and monthly basis. So it could very well be the fact that, nobody had eyes on these kids and in these homes and to know what was going on.
In Oneida County, Nelson says that they experienced a nearly 10% decrease in drug-endangered children referrals. Similarly, Vilas County on average received 83 referrals a month prior to the stay-at-home order and then quickly dropped to an average of 67 referrals per month. Vilas County Foster Care Coordinator Kelly Pine says social services have been working more to reunify families, but that faces its own difficulties with visitations happening virtually.
Has been done through WebEx or Zoom or another virtual platform like that. So they're missing that one-on-one interaction. That was hard on everyone.
There's still a need for more foster parents. Social Services asks if you're interested in becoming a foster parent to contact your county foster care coordinator. Taking you across the country this half hour, the new White House COVID-19 response team will hold its first press briefing this morning. That tops our look ahead for this Wednesday. The White House COVID-19 response team and federal public health officials will discuss the status of the federal government's COVID-19 pandemic response today. This will be the first of regular briefings from the COVID-19 response team in the Biden administration, what they're calling a commitment to providing regular information sharing around pandemic response efforts and coronavirus developments. Speakers will include the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Anthony Fauci, and Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the director of the Centers for Disease Control.
Well, coming up next on Newswatch 12 today, a former 90210 star opens up about her lifelong struggle with migraine. After the break, she'll join us to share how she's managed that condition and how she's also adapting to the pandemic lifestyle. Stay with us. We're back in 2 minutes.
Northland Basement Systems is the all things basementy company. Basement waterproofing, basement finishing, basement structural repair, humidity and mold control, and nasty crawl spaces too. When it comes to basement solutions, nobody does it better than we do. Since 1991, homeowners just like you in the Northland have trusted Northland Basement Systems for all things basementy in their homes. Call Northland Basement Systems today to schedule a free home evaluation.
Keep your family healthy and your home comfortable with help from Menards. DuPont air filters help improve indoor air quality for up to 90 days, and they reduce household allergens. They're available in multiple sizes for only $3.99 each. Knauf Insulation is an affordable solution to help you save up to 15% on your heating costs. A 40-square-foot roll of Kraft paper-faced insulation is only $9.99. Now during Menards Home Improvement Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
My name's Arthur, from Merrill, Wisconsin. In August of 2019, I started getting numbness in my feet. By July of 2020, my feet were so numb, I lost a sense of balance. I thought I was walking on stilts. I seen this ad for Spinal Aid. I took 20 treatments from them, and by then my feet were 90% better and no longer felt as I was walking on stilts.
Are you experiencing weakness, numbness, and/or pain in your feet or hands? These sensations might even be affecting other areas of your body along with your balance. You might have already been diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and are taking drugs such as Lyrica, gabapentin, or Cymbalta that never seems to help. Neuropathy pain ultimately diminishes your quality of life. Call Spinal Aid of Wausau today to see if our treatment methods are right for you. Call 715-203-1508 to schedule your neuropathy severity consultation or visit us at spinalaid.com.
And welcome back. Here we are at Wednesday morning and a little bit of cloud cover moving through, coming off of Lake Superior. So we have a few flurries mixing in parts of Vilas County. And yes, they've made it to Oneida County at times too. Otherwise, we have clouds from the south. And that's courtesy of low pressure right over here. And that's going to be tracking off to the east, but not going to be helping us out all that much. We could definitely use some snow, and unfortunately, we're not going to see much around here, set aside those flurries. But we do have plenty of cold temperatures, too. Look at Minnesota, where they're 28 below in the International Falls this morning. And it's also chilly here at home, too. We're at 16 below in Phillips and many other areas reporting below zero temperatures. or just slightly above 0. So 30 minutes or less, frostbite can occur, so you'll want to make sure to bundle things up and cover as much exposed skin as possible, because that could be a nasty situation. Temperature history, we've been really up and down over the past several days too. We've been above average and below average and above. We're going to be below today and tomorrow with highs in the teens. Our average high now at 22 degrees, so we're turning the corner on winter as our average high will now start climbing back up. But today it won't feel that way with middle to upper teens today and tomorrow. They'll be right at average Friday into Saturday. Then look at this, getting back closer to above average Sunday, Monday into Tuesday, maybe some lower 30s in the forecast by next week. Now, February 1st through the 5th, the Climate Prediction Center is saying that we have a good shot at things being above average, a good probability. So the darker the shade, the higher the probability of us being above average. And with highs being in the upper 20s to lower 30s and our average high being 22 degrees, it's very easy to get that chance happening around here. So futurecast, we have clouds to the south, some lake effect clouds taking place. A lot of this will break up tonight, so that means temperatures getting very chilly tonight with that and a calm wind, as temperatures could fall down to 6 below. But a few clouds moving in from the west to the east for the day for your Thursday, so we'll call it partly cloudy overall. So we'll see some sunshine and intermittent clouds. A lot of the clouds breaking up again Thursday night, and temperatures again falling below 0 courtesy of a very light wind and clear skies. So for today, 15 degrees. We have lake effect flurries across our northern counties this morning. That will continue for parts of the day. Then the clouds will begin to break up with that northwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour and just feeling below average around here. For tonight, 6 below, mostly clear skies and very cold. That north breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour, going calm late, so radiational cooling where the warm air rises up into the atmosphere and gets replaced with cooler air. That'll be in full effect for tonight. For Thursday, 17 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and that northwest wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast. Once we get past today, again, Thursday and Friday, we're dry with temperatures in the teens and 20s. Saturday, we're now looking dry. Saturday night into Sunday, we have a small chance of snow. We pulled the chances back for now, and then looking dry as we head towards next week. Marissa?
Stress levels for so many people are at an all-time high. And for people living with migraine, stress can be a major contributor to triggering those migraine attacks. And joining us today to tell us a lot more about the impacts of migraine is actress and 90210 alum Tori Spelling. Good morning to you, Tori.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, and we're so happy to have you. But first of all, we want to know, what has it been like for you in quarantine, especially being a mom to 5 children?
It's been interesting. I have learned one major thing about me, that I will never be putting teacher on my resume. We are doing virtual school. I have 5 kids, 4 of them which are in school, and doing the whole virtual teacher thing. Grateful for all our patient teachers out there, but I am not one of them. I hashtag mom fail.
I'm sure you're doing an amazing job, but a very busy life, and with that, you've also been suffering from migraine. So can you tell us, how long have you had them, and how has migraine taken a toll on you?
I have been a migraine sufferer hardcore for over 25 years. I actually got my first migraine on the set of 90210. I was in my 20s. I was young. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew that my life literally stopped in that moment. We had to shut down production. I couldn't function. It was so debilitating. I literally have spent my whole life trying to find every solution, trying medications, trying different doctors, natural remedies, and nothing worked for me. So I was really grateful when I found Nurtec ODT, because for me, it is something that became a huge game changer in my life. This is a topic that I talk to women all the time about, because, as women, we are warriors and we can do anything. And that's the one thing that's kind of out of our control. When you get a migraine, it kind of, everything just shuts down, and especially that fear of getting a migraine. So I was really grateful when I found something that really worked for me. So I'm out there kind of telling my story and telling everyone something that works for me, and hoping that they can look into it, talk to your doctor about it. Definitely go to Nurtec.com to get more information, to see if this is something that might change your perspective and your migraine in the moments.
It's so important for you to be sharing that because I'm sure there are a ton of people that you've been able to help by doing it. And you also mentioned just how debilitating it can be. So, during the pandemic, what has been the impact of social distancing for you on your disease?
You know what, luckily I have a great family, with 5 kids. We have a little built-in party within our house. So, it's of course really sad not to see family and friends. And I'm a people person, I'm a hugger, I'm a lover. So it's really, it's hard for me not to be out socializing, but we have to do what's right for everyone around us. Obviously I stay home for my kids and to protect them, and that's the right thing to do. But it's definitely been stressful. And again, as a migraine sufferer, stress is one of the #1 things that can get you. And definitely, it's stressful out there with the pandemic and everything going on, and just kind of a real uncertain time personally and professionally for everybody. And if you do suffer from migraines, I'm sure this time period in 2020 has really brought on more stress and more migraines. So I would just really encourage everyone, this is one little thing that I can give back to them, is to look into Nurtec.com.
Of course, and like you said, it's just so relatable. Well, thank you so much again for sharing your story, Tori. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, same to you.
So great to hear her story. Well, coming up, we have What's Trending, including one new study that claims money can actually buy you happiness. We'll explain. Plus, one little boy is getting lots of attention for his artwork. We'll have those stories up next on What's Trending.
4 years ago, I had brain surgery to remove the tumor that was wrapped around my brainstem and spinal cord. Very intense pain in my neck, headaches all the time, and permanent vertigo. I came in and I saw Dr. Dave. He did some work on my top vertebrae. The pressure was alleviated and I can actually stand. It's been wonderful and great.
When the atlas vertebra at the base of the skull is out of alignment, it causes the head to come forward, putting unnatural pressure on joints and nerves. We correct this through a new treatment called the Atlas Prophylax, a revolutionary way to realign the atlas, removing nerve pressure and even restoring blood flow. For many, symptoms and headaches disappear almost immediately.
The first thing we do when somebody comes as a new patient is we sit down and we listen and understand what's going on to see if we can help.
On Jeopardy, a 6-game champ with a lot of money.
$147,304.
And a challenger with a story.
My mother begged me not to talk about this on TV.
On Jeopardy.
Weekdays at 4:30 on NBC 12.
The modern farmhouse look is here to stay, and we have it for less at Slumberland Furniture. Start out with neutrals. Use a beige or light gray sofa as your base to build on. Next, mix and match metals and wood. Try adding contrast by using light with dark. Finally, add home-style pillows and unique farmhouse accessories. Play around and have fun. Get your current look for less at Slumberland Furniture.
I drive 65,000 miles each year in my bus. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. You don't want to be in the blind spot of a 40,000-pound bus when I have less than a second to react. I do what I can by changing lanes and taking turns slowly. It really helps when people look out for me, too. Give me room to operate safely. It's our roads. It's our safety.
Rachel Eiler and meteorologist Andrew Kiekefer bring you the local news and weather from the North Woods alongside the WJFW Weekend News Team. Watch Rachel and Andrew weekends at 10 p.m. on News Watch 12.
Hey, it's about 6:15 and time now for What's Trending. If an animal is larger than a school bus, how big are its newborns? Well, researchers in Scotland tried to answer that question by looking into fossilized T-Rex embryos. And the fearsome dinosaur could grow as long as 40 feet. But after looking at the embryos, the scientists concluded that T-Rex hatchlings were actually about as big as a mid-sized dog, like a border collie. The researchers also say the baby T-Rex was able to hunt small animals right from the get-go. And little is known about the newborn Tyrannosaurus rexes because most fossils found so far belong to adult animals. The study was published in the Canadian journal Earth Sciences on Monday. And I think that's so fascinating, you guys. You know, there's so much that we don't know and so much that we would love to find out about these creatures. And in my house, we have dinosaur everything. My 3-year-old's crazy for dinosaurs. So I just wanted to pull this out, you guys. So we have this little baby dinosaur. Oh, gosh, I pushed the button. Sorry. Anyway, I did not mean to do that. It's a dinosaur egg that like hatches, and then he has all sorts of little dinosaurs that we put in here to hatch for him. But my question, you guys, is if baby T-Rexes are the size of a dog, then how big are the eggs? They've got to be way bigger than this cute little egg. So just fascinating stuff.
It really, really is. And Marissa, I always love the props. It seems like you have a prop for almost every story in trending, with having all these things around for your little 3-year-old. But no, it is a great question you posed, though. I'm thinking that they, had to be about the size of a dog too. So that's really incredible. But imagine having like a pet T-Rex. I don't think you could keep one for very long before it kind of outsizes you.
Yeah, I honestly have no words for that because obviously dinosaurs can get, they can get very big, maybe as big as this building here or as your house, Marissa. So I don't know. I definitely want to I want to stay away from dinosaurs because that just sounds like trouble starting pretty quickly, especially with all the houses.
Jurassic Park. We don't need that to happen.
Well, no baby T-Rexes for Devin. Well, another interesting study in this next story. We've all heard money can't buy happiness, right? But maybe that's not true. A new study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that one's well-being appears to grow with their paycheck. Previously, it was believed that well-being did not increase if you were making more than $75,000 a year, but that was based on people's evaluation of their lives after reflection. In this study, researchers looked at how people were feeling during the moments of life. They used more than 1 million real-time reports from 33,000 U.S. adults and found that as income increased, so did well-being. And I think it's a really interesting study because I think it kind of all depends on the person and what they're spending their money on. For me, I think, maybe more happiness is achieved when I'm able to spend money on an experience or a trip where I'm doing something that really is an eye-opener. I get to travel, and that makes me feel really good. But I can understand how having all these possessions at the end of the day might not make much of a difference. But what about you guys? I'm wondering what your take is on this.
Sure. I think it's really fascinating. I think, first of all, obviously we know that there's so many people struggling out there. And if you're truly struggling, then yes, a little bit more money would make you happier. But I think that everything has to do with your mentality, right? I think it's so important to be able to find joy and happiness in every situation. I remember, when my husband and I were both working our first jobs, we really didn't have a lot of money, but that made us realize, like, hey, we don't really need a lot. All that we need is each other, and we can have a blast no matter the situation. So I think it's an interesting study, but I think that it just has to do with, your mentality.
Yeah. Exactly. I totally agree with Marissa there, too, and maybe you too, Peter, because I think if you have enough of the green stuff, so to say, I think that allows you to do a little bit more, like maybe take local road trips, just being safe. We live up here in the Northwoods. There's plenty of opportunities to just get away from the craziness and enjoy the lakes, the trees, you name it. There's plenty to enjoy around here.
Absolutely.
And without a doubt, we're going to keep the happiness theme going. The pandemic may be scary for kids, but for some, creating art is the perfect antidote. And for one 11-year-old in rural England, it's become even more than that. 11-year-old Joe Whale has a big imagination. He doodles everywhere, in notebooks, on his shoes, on the walls in his living room. Like a lot of kids, Joe's classroom is now in his bedroom. His art in these strange pandemic times is his escape. A local restaurant saw Joe's work on Instagram and wanted a whole wall full. and before he knew it, Joe became Doodle Boy with a growing YouTube channel and collecting an Instagram following last month, landing a collab with the Royals, drawing Prince William and Kate's Christmas Train tour. And this month, the legendary children's publisher Scholastic, who brought us Clifford the Big Red Dog and Harry Potter, announced they want to bring Doodle Boy to America. Joe's very first book comes out in October in the U.S. So how about that? So obviously we have a lot of artists around here, and to see this one too, man, there's just so many ways to escape during the pandemic, and who knew? It's so amazing. I almost don't have the words for it.
Right? And who knew that it would blow up this big? You know, first of all, I love the name Doodle Boy. I think that's awesome. But also, his art's very unique. I really kind of feel like it's unlike anything else I've seen, and I'm really glad he's getting recognized and that it's making it over here to the U.S. too. Very cool. Me
too. I mean, such great success for someone so young. And it's really cool that his parents were kind of able to just let him run with that interest that he had, you know, not really punishing for drawing on all sorts of things, but kind of encouraging it. I'm wondering, Marissa, if, how you'd feel if your little one wanted to start doodling on the walls.
Right now, that would not go over well. We have to, wait for his artistic talents to develop a little bit,
That's funny.
Maybe you can teach some art classes up here, too. You never know. But one thing I'll teach you right now is your forecast for the next few days. Starting off pretty cool in the middle to upper teens today and tomorrow, then the lower 20s on Friday. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Dear all-wheel drive, I'm your new co-pilot, Camry. Safety's the name of our game. Steady Camry all-wheel drive.
Right now, you can lease a new 2021 Toyota Camry for $239 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
You have found your soulmate. Now it's time to find the perfect ring. At Golden Carat Jewelers, you can choose from an extensive selection of engagement and wedding rings. Fresh designs reflecting the most current trends, from organic, art deco, and vintage design to timeless classics in white, yellow, and rose gold. See the new Romance Collection, Lyria and Lumiere Bridal Collections, and new styles from Gabriel New York, Eskashi, and more. Engagements begin here. Will yours? Golden Carat Jewelers, downtown Minocqua.
Hi, I'm Lori with Wild Birds Unlimited of Wausau. It's our annual winter seed cylinder sale. It only happens once a year. Buy 3, get the 4th one free. These are the refills for our popular seed character feeders and includes our cranberry hot pepper cylinder to keep the squirrels, raccoons, and deer away, and our winter super blend cylinder, which is the highest fat and protein cylinder on the market, formulated to help our birds get through the long winter nights. Seed cylinders take up very little storage space, attract the greatest variety of birds, and don't leave you with a mess to clean up. Only at Wild Birds Unlimited across from Walmart in Rib Mountain.
There's only one place to turn for your local and high school sports, highlights, analysis, and more. Friday Night Blitz on Newswatch 12, Fridays at 10 p.m. Brought to you by Precision Power Sports.
Next summer, the Games return for an Olympics unlike any other.
Dear all-wheel drive, I'm your new co-pilot, Camry. Safety's the name of our game. Steady Camry all-wheel drive.
Right now, you can lease a new 2021 Toyota Camry for $239 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Today we are talking about our brand new program that is starting February 1st. It's called Recharge. So this program is an all-encompassing wellness program. It focuses on the 7 dimensions of wellness. All the dimensions are physical, emotional, vocational, intellectual, environmental, social, and spiritual. So what this program is each week for the 7 weeks, we're going to focus on a different area of wellness. We'll give the participants a little bit of information about what that dimension entails, and then some tips as to how they can improve their wellness in that dimension. And then we're going to give you a few small challenges each week called Rechargers that are going to help you take small steps to improve your wellness or your health in that dimension. The cost for this program is $10, and it is open not only to Y members, but also to the community at large and anybody else who wants to join in. So if you have some friends that don't live right by you, but you want to do this program together, feel free to send the information to them and they can do it as well. The program itself can all be done at home. The tasks that we're giving you, most of them you can do with under a half hour each day, so it's nothing overwhelming, but it focuses more on creating lifelong behavior changes that will help you improve your overall wellness. If you need any more information, you can go to our website, ymcaofthenorthwoods.org, or you can call us 715-362-9622 or check us out on Facebook.
If you're doing a workout today, a little cool out, you'll want to make sure to bundle up. Let's show you your travel forecast, where temperatures today will be a little cool in the middle to upper teens across the western parts of the state, with a little bit of sunshine too. For us, we'll do middle teens below average for this time of the year. And the southern parts of the state, teens and 20s with a mixture of clouds and sun. Make sure to bundle up as you head out the door.
Denny's Appliance Service, serving Rhinelander, Eagle River, Minocqua, and surrounding area. 35 years of experience, prompt professional service on all brands, emergency service available.
Do you struggle to open or close your windows? Are they drafty or leaky? If you're nodding your head yes, Renewal by Andersen is your best solution.
Replace your problem windows and save big with this limited time offer and attractive financing. Call Renewal by Andersen today.
At Lenz Truck, we've made the buying experience fast and easy. All our trucks are guaranteed clean, certified, can be bought hassle-free online, and can be delivered right to your door. It's our way of saying thanks to our past and future customers for the last 35 years. And when you buy a Lenz truck, know that you're buying the best used truck money can buy. Go now to lenztruck.com. You'll find over 800 used trucks, all priced to move. Go now to lenztruck.com.
Lenz Truck.
On December 7, 2005, I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq. As I was searching for the bomb, the bad guy and the bomb found me first. After the explosion, I was left with a 1% chance of living from the injuries I sustained. During my road to recovery, it was a challenge, mostly trying to figure out what life would be like with my new physical injuries. But throughout that road to recovery, I had a tremendous amount of support from friends and families and the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes. The primary mission of the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is to offer financial emergency assistance to veterans and their families. In most cases, there is a loved one back at home who has to drop everything they're doing to be at that veteran's bedside. And of course, there are huge financial burdens that come along with that. After veterans come through the Coalition's program, they are ready to be back into society, ready to go back to work, and ready to be a leader in their own community.
Visit SaluteHeroes.org to learn more.
From the moments that shape our lives to those that shape our days, broadcasters are there, delivering the most trusted news that keeps you informed when it matters. We are your neighbors, a trusted voice, a lifeline. We are broadcasters. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
The latest weather updates. Weather Watch 12. Weather from where you live.
Right now on Newswatch 12 today, the Wisconsin State Senate passed a resolution that would end Governor Evers' public health emergency order, including the mask mandate. We'll hear the next step. Plus,
temperatures are cold out there this morning, but could we see the sun? Your full forecast is coming up.
I'm going to try and get up at around 3 o'clock in the morning and see if I can get a reservation for my first shot.
And after President Biden announced plans on Tuesday to hike the number of COVID-19 vaccines shipped to states, the political climate on Capitol Hill has yet to change regarding his coronavirus relief plan and the impeachment. It's Wednesday, January 27th.
Your local news and weather from where you live. Newswatch 12 today starts now.
On Tuesday, the Wisconsin State Senate voted to repeal Governor Evers' statewide indoor mask mandate. All Republicans except for 2 voted in favor of the repeal.
All Democrats voted to keep the mandate. It still needs to be approved by the Assembly, who is likely to look at it on Thursday. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has said his chamber is likely to approve the resolution as well. Vos recently cut an ad along with Democratic Representative Mark Pocan encouraging people to wear masks, but he has spoken out against the governor mandating them. At least 23 groups, including several that represent healthcare workers, have given statements in favor of the mandate.
And Wisconsin just started vaccinating people over the age of 65 this week. But on Tuesday, DHS also announced who will be in the next group eligible to receive vaccinations. It includes people who work in education and childcare, those enrolled in Medicaid long-term care programs, food and health care supply chain workers, prisoners, and mink farmers, among many others.
And they're planning to start this group on March 1st. It could be earlier or later. That all depends on how many doses they receive from the federal government between now and then. Wisconsin is currently receiving about 70,000 vaccine doses from the government every week.
And here in Wisconsin, we've seen some encouraging signs in the fight to end the COVID-19 pandemic recently. The rolling 7-day average for the number of new COVID-19 cases has now fallen for 15 straight days in the Badger State. And the State Department of Health Services reported about 1,300 new cases were on Tuesday. That brings the daily average for the last week down to about 1,500. The number of new deaths has been more up and down lately. DHS reported 54 new deaths Tuesday, bringing the daily average for the last week up slightly to 34.
And here in our 12 county, north central Wisconsin region, they report 79 people in the hospital right now. 23 of those are in the ICU. And as we take a closer look at our local numbers, the Oneida County Health Department reported 16 new cases. Its active total stands at 143. 5 new cases in Price County, 1 new case in Forest County, 6 new cases reported in Langlade County, and Lincoln County reported 5 new cases.
Down in Marathon County, 30 new cases were reported, and its active total is at 944. Portage County reported 8 new cases with an active total of 132. 10 new cases in Clark County. Iron, Vilas, and Wood counties did not report. Well, outdoors this morning, we've definitely had a chilly week, and that continues this morning.
Yes, yeah, you are correct, Marissa. It's very cold out there. You're going to want to make sure you bundle up. For more on what to expect, though, throughout the day, let's head right on over to our weather center with Devin Biggs for a first check of our forecast. And Devin, people really need to layer up this morning on their way out the doors and to work.
Yeah, you'll definitely want the winter coats, the gloves, you name it. You'll want it today because frostbite can occur very quickly if you're out for a long period of time and don't have a lot of the exposed skin covered up. Let's show you in Eagle River right now where it's calm out there and with snow on the ground. But of course, the big story will be the temperatures. Right now, we do have some clouds coming off of Lake Superior. There's a few little lake effect flurries in parts of Vilas and Oneida counties too this morning. But yeah, the big story, the temperature is 16 below in Phillips, 3 below in Tomahawk, and also in Merrill. Frostbite can occur quickly, so make sure to bundle up. Your bus stop forecast today, of course, bundling up under mostly cloudy skies with temperatures below 0 and above 0 in a few cases. We'll warm up into the mid-teens as the kids come home. More sunshine will be present. Peter?
The Wausau School District is considering having secondary or high school students return to the classroom 4 days a week in the fairly near future. The school board met for a special meeting on Monday on changing from the current 2-day-a-week in-person class format. Some members say student performance has dropped significantly this year, though a poll of staff showed about 52% just don't feel comfortable returning until they can get a vaccine.
It's safe social distancing across the district. I mean, we'd love to have our students back 4 days a week, but to be able to maintain 6 feet of social distancing, that just wasn't possible at the secondary levels.
Teachers also voiced their concerns for their own safety. Again, teachers are in the group of people set to be eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine starting in March, but right now, some teachers say they don't feel ready to return to the classroom.
We believe very strongly that all teachers, all school personnel should be vaccinated with both vaccinations before we move forward with this endeavor.
Now, if the school goes back to 4 days in person, families will still have the option to keep their children virtual or transition them to virtual. The board is set to discuss the idea again on February 8th. And conditions at Wisconsin's juvenile prisons are getting worse. That's according to a new report from a court-ordered monitor. They say that's at least in part due to the pandemic. The report posted online by the ACLU of Wisconsin finds exhausted guards are more likely to restrain inmates at the Lincoln Hills School for Boys and Copper Lake School for Girls. The monitor also found inmates aren't receiving enough programming and staff members fear for their safety. The legislature passed a law requiring the Lincoln Hills campus to shut down by July, but lawmakers and Governor Evers have said they will miss that deadline. Right now, there's no firm timeline for building smaller replacements. The Wausau Fire Department announced the upcoming retirement of Fire Chief Tracy Kujawa. According to a Facebook post, Kujawa has served 29 years through fire service. She started her career in fire at the Stevens Point Fire Department in 1992, and she made history there, becoming the first female firefighter in the department's tenure. And her retirement will be effective starting on April 1st. So really good on her.
A drone captured the devastation left behind from a tornado that tore through central Alabama, killing one person and injuring at least 20 others. This tops our news making national headlines this morning. The bird's eye view showed roofs ripped off houses, collapsed walls, and exposed house frames in Fultondale. Multiple piles of debris were scattered on the streets and covered up destroyed homes. Toppled trees were strewn over roadways, houses, and cars, causing many power outages in the area. And the powerful storm ripped through the area on Monday night. On Tuesday, senators were sworn in for the second impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. All 100 senators were sworn in on Tuesday after the House delivered the single article of impeachment charge against Trump on Monday night. The former president has been charged with incitement of insurrection after an angry mob attacked the Capitol earlier this month. The President pro tem Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy swore all the senators in. Because Trump is a former president and currently not in office, Leahy will preside over the impeachment trial. The trial is scheduled to begin the week of February 8th. The federal government is buying more coronavirus vaccines and shipping more out to states complaining that they don't have enough. NBC's Tracy Potts has the latest on the pandemic.
I want to urge everyone to take the vaccine when it is your turn.
Vice President Harris getting her second dose of the coronavirus vaccine, with millions of Americans still unable to get their first.
I'm going to try and get up at around 3 o'clock in the morning and see if I can get a reservation for my first shot.
President Biden announced the government's buying another 200 million doses, but they won't arrive till summer. For now, he's shipping 16% more to states and giving them 3 weeks notice of what's to come.
We're at the mercy of whatever is sent.
The brutal truth is it's going to take months before we can get the majority of Americans vaccinated. Months.
Democrats are planning a vote on COVID relief as early as next week.
The work must move forward, preferably with our Republican colleagues, but without them if we must.
Republicans objecting to the $1.9 trillion price tag.
All of us want to help people that have lost their jobs, the small businesses, but that's not what this is. This is a liberal payback.
Only 5 Republicans voted with Democrats on whether impeachment is constitutional, far short of the 17 needed to convict former President Trump. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
Well, it's about 6:40, and up next in sports, we'll highlight some soon-to-be record breakers in our area. Plus, Griffin joins us to break down the start of the Great Northern Conference hockey tournament. We're back in 2 minutes.
The Buffalo Wing craze continues with a new go-along that your gang will absolutely love. Really, no bones about it.
Wednesday's most watched dramas are all new.
We ready?
Get it!
So I'm gonna step out.
This is an opportunity for everyone to step up. We need to do the job better than ever.
Get these victims out.
Another blast! There's a second charge? By them! Doing something good, brave, noble. That makes you a hero.
An all-new Chicago Wednesday, tonight on NBC.
Let me introduce me. Here I come. Yeah.
Cuts, colors, braids, and fades.
We stand for style. Cost Cutter Salons.
Whether you're just starting out, looking for a change, or returning to the industry, Cost Cutters will help you grow and support you in achieving your career goal. Learn more today at costcutters.com/careers.
Whatever your style, we stand for style. Visit costcutters.com to find your nearest location.
Is your basement broken? Is your crawl space a disaster? Is the concrete around your house sinking or uneven? If the answer is yes, call SureDry. Serving all of northeast and central Wisconsin, we offer permanent professional solutions to these kinds of problems. More than 25,000 satisfied customers since 1994. We've probably fixed your neighbor's basement, crawl space, or concrete, and we'd love to fix yours too. Call SureDry today.
Everybody loves popcorn and puffs, so Newswatch 12 and Minocqua Popcorn and Puffs want to help you celebrate by sending tasty birthday treats.
If you want your chance to win a gourmet bucket of popcorn for your loved one, make sure to submit your entry to our birthday club at WJFW.com.
One lucky viewer will win a free half-gallon bucket of Minocqua popcorn.
And welcome back. We've made it to Wednesday morning, starting off with clouds again this morning in a few spots, some of it coming off of Lake Superior. We have a low pressure system off towards our south and west, causing a few clouds to make it into our backyard this morning too, across the southern parts of the viewing area. The good news is as high pressure moves in, we're going to see things start to quiet down, including the lake effect flurries that we're seeing this morning too. And then of course the big story is going to be the cool weather. Look at these temperatures, 24 below up in Canada, 28 below in International Falls. The worst of it's going to go off toward our north. We're going to get skirted with this a little bit, but either way, we do have cool temperatures in our own backyard this morning, with the winter being Phillips, 16 below, and in other areas seeing 3 below in parts of Merrill and 1 degree above zero in Rhinelander. So bottom line, bundle up, cover as much exposed skin as you can, because frostbite can occur very quickly, especially when you get temperatures like that. And this is without the wind chill too. Here we are, temperature history over the past several days. Been kind of up and down with the air temperature, so we'll be below average again today. The winds will not be much of a problem this morning. It's a very light breeze at best, so that's why there's no wind chill out there this morning. But look, we're starting to turn a corner. Our average high now at 22 degrees instead of 21. Won't feel like it today with middle to upper teens in our forecast for the next couple of days, counting today. Then lower 20s Friday into Saturday. Then warming back up closer to 30 as we start towards next week. So once again, getting above average. And beyond that, here's the February 1st through the 5th outlook. And looking like good probabilities of us being above average again, especially the farther north you go, as our average high is right now being rather low in the lower 20s. Pretty easy to get these good probabilities of above average when you get temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s. So futurecast, here we are. So we have some clouds across our southern counties, some of it coming off of the lake too. We're going to see things really begin to break up tonight, and that with a calm wind and clear skies, what we call radiational cooling, where all the warm air at the ground rises up into the atmosphere, and that's really going to allow temperatures to crash tonight, especially with a snowpack on the ground. We'll see a few clouds moving through during the daytime tomorrow. We'll call it partly cloudy skies overall as clouds move from west to east. And then we'll really repeat the pattern tomorrow night, getting chilly again, courtesy of some clear skies, calm winds. Again, what we call radiational cooling, a lot of that warm air escaping into the atmosphere. So a forecast for today, we'll do 15 degrees, some lake effect snow flurries to the north, then decreasing clouds with that northwest breeze at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, 6 below, mostly clear skies and very cold. A light breeze out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour early, will go calm late. Your Northwoods Furniture and Mattress 7-day forecast. We're dry Thursday into Friday, temperatures in the teens and 20s. Otherwise, mostly cloudy on Saturday. Saturday night and Sunday, a small chance of snow. We pulled back the snow chances. Then we're dry as we head towards next week. Marissa?
The Great Northern Conference hockey tournament started yesterday. Newswatch 12 sports reporter Griffin Stroin has highlights from last night's games.
We are slowly but surely making our way through the winter sports season. Some major events are coming up. Basketball teams are starting to have their senior nights. And in hockey, the Great Northern Conference tournament is taking place this week. A lot of great matchups in the first round will start in Minocqua. Lakeland Union hosting the Anago Red Robins. First period, Anago on the power play. Joe Volpentesta just taking his time, waiting for that moment to strike. The goal trickles past the goalie. Anago is up 1-0. Now, a little later in the period, Thunderbirds, they're going to win the faceoff here. And then, hey, just throw it in front of the net, and Joe Betta is going to fire it home, puts it past the goalie. Lakeland ties this game at 1 apiece. But this was a chippy game. Anago now dealing with a 5-minute major penalty. Lakeland makes them pay. Betta's shot is blocked, but rebound goal for Thomas McCumber. Thunderbirds roll in this one. They win 8-1. Another first-round matchup, Wapaka taking on Rhinelander. We're going all the way to the third period. Hodag's up 2. Let's make it 3, though. Harlan Watusick, the senior, got a slot one, the bottom right-hand corner. His 4th goal of the game. Hodags are up 3. But the Comets aren't giving up. They're shorthanded, but they don't need a 5th. Max Guzmer fires on this one home. Wapaka down 2 again, but Watusick is just on another level. Joe Schneider going to fall down, but hey, he still completes the passing. Watusick does the rest. His 27th goal of the year, 5th on the night, and on his way out, give a thumbs up to the Wapaka bench. I freaking love it. Rhinelander wins 7-5, the final. We're going to take a look at the winning side of the bracket. 4 teams remain. Northland Pines beat Tomahawk 12-0 to advance. Pines will be hosting Rhinelander this Thursday. An interesting matchup. The Hodags beat Pines earlier in the season. I'm sure the Eagles still want their revenge. Also, Mosinee defeated Medford 8-2 to advance, which means Mosinee will host Lakeland Union. Mosinee beat the Thunderbirds 4-2 in early December. 2 great matchups coming up on Thursday. Now, a year ago, NBA great Kobe Bryant passed away in a tragic helicopter crash. He was only 41 years old. Kobe for years was electric on the court. The Black Mamba made defenses quiver. I mean, the guy was a walking bucket. He finished his career with over 33,500 points. And 2 players in our area are on pace to break some scoring records of their own. Juliana Ouimet of Lakeland Union scored her 1,000th career point last night for the Thunderbirds. The most surprising part about this, though, she's only a sophomore. Ouimet is averaging 23 points a game. They took on Mosinee last night. It was a huge game within the GNC. Those 2 teams are battling for the top spot in the GNC. Mosinee would spoil her night, though. They get the win. Peyton Kuhn is the other student athlete ready to break a record. He scored his 1,000th career point earlier in the season. Now he's going for that top spot. Kuhn is only 27 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer in Medford history. Kuhn currently leads the GNC in points scored. He averages 21 points per game. We'll have more on Kuhn later on in the week as he tries to become the leading scorer in school history. That's all I got for you this morning. It was a lot, but that's all I got. Back to the morning crew.
Thanks, Griffin. We always appreciate it. And coming up, we'll share one good reason to get excited to eat some chocolate. But first, Howard is in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe for buffalo cauliflower.
Mr. Food Test Kitchen is brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Creative Kitchen and Bath Studio.
A few months ago, I was having lunch at the original birthplace of buffalo wings, the Anchor Bar in Buffalo. While I was eating, I was thinking not only how popular these spicy wings are, but how much we love anything cooked with the taste of buffalo wings. Everything from soups to dips, even side dishes. To make this one, all we do is toss a head of cauliflower that we cut into florets with some oil and a little salt and pepper. Once that's mixed, onto a baking sheet it goes, and we'll bake it off until the edges start to get crispy. Don't be afraid to let them sort of caramelize, because that's what gives these a ton of flavor. While that cooks, we'll whip up a sauce to coat these with, which is the same sauce that Teresa and Frank whipped up in their Anchor Bar kitchen some years ago. Once the cauliflower is done, all we do is toss it with the buffalo sauce. Then onto a platter they go, topped with some crumbled blue cheese, and we have the taste of buffalo wings in a side dish that is second to none. You gotta go online and get the recipe for what we call buffalo cauliflower so you can be armed with a new go-along that your gang will go along with. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a classic way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
If you're a contractor or do-it-yourselfer, make Argonne Lumber your first stop. High-quality materials, personalized service, expert staff, and delivery are just some of the things Argonne Lumber is known for. Stop in and smell the lumber at Argonne Lumber, 2 locations in Argonne and Rhinelander.
Keeping your family close together in your home these days are important. Let us remodel your kitchen and bath. Kitchen Bath Mart specializes in complete remodels for the past 35 years. From design to install, we'll take good care of you. Stop in or call us today at Kitchen Bath Mart. We're your #1 choice in kitchen and bath remodeling. Highway 70 East in Arborvitae.
Dear Winter, it's been fun getting to know you. Sleet, blizzards, ice. I love that you don't hold back. We didn't take it personally when you tried to bury us under 6 feet of snow. It's cool. You do your thing, and we'll do ours. Stay chill. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can get $500 customer cash on a new 2021 Toyota 4Runner. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The modern farmhouse look is here to stay, and we have it for less at Slumberland Furniture. Start out with neutrals. Use a beige or light gray sofa as your base to build on. Next, mix and match metals and wood. Try adding contrast by using light with dark. Finally, add home-style pillows and unique farmhouse accessories. Play around and have fun. Get your current look for less at Slumberland Furniture.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
You're watching Newswatch 12 today with Marissa Silvas, Peter Dubois, and Devin Biggs.
Welcome back. Well, it's crazy, but February is right around the corner, and that means that Rhinelander's Taste of Chocolate is almost here. But instead of a one-day event, it's going to be spread out now over a few weeks.
Interesting. With the Taste of Chocolate comes the search for the green ticket. From February 7th through the 28th, you can stop by participating local shops for a chance to win between $5 and $250. You buy a chocolate from one of these local shops and open it up to see if you're a winner. It's a bit Wonka-ish, if you may, but after that, you save your ticket and see if your number is one of 2 green ticket $250 winners.
Downtown Rhinelander Incorporated will be drawing the 2 $250 winners on February 28th at 6:30 p.m. via their Facebook page. And so I love, you guys, that they are converting this event. I actually went last year with Angela, my former co-anchor, and we had the best time ever. So I'm really glad that Taste of Chocolate's still sticking around and that now you can go throughout the month to a bunch of different places. And I believe each different location and business is going to have a different flavor of chocolate that you can purchase and pick up. So you can try a ton of different chocolate. And yeah, and like you said, Peter, I love the Willy Wonka aspect.
Oh, absolutely. And you can bet that I'll be participating. It seems, you know, just another good excuse to go buy some chocolate. I'm a big chocolate lover myself. I really like dark chocolate. That's kind of my favorite. What about you guys?
Any of it, all of it.
Yeah.
I love it too. Chocolate's so tempting. I love the Wonka part. That's why you probably heard me laughing a few seconds ago. I just love it. It's just great. And you know what, Peter, you and I, we should probably go get some chocolate sometime and see if we can get lucky. Marissa, maybe you should check it out too. Maybe all 3 of us could go.
Let's do it.
I would love that. I'm in.
Yeah, let's do it sometime. But for now, I want to make you think so you can earn that chocolate. Here's a trivia question for today. When did we last have temperatures in the 40s in Rhinelander? Was it December 2nd, December 9th, December 10th, or December 23rd? The answer when we come back.
Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house, has the freshest specialty coffee and tea in the Northwoods. Our coffee comes from choice Arabica beans, hand-blended and roasted on-premise for the finest specialty drinks. Fresh bakery, breakfast, and lunch served daily, our comfortable coffee house is the perfect place for meeting friends or groups. The drive-thru is also open daily. Treat yourself with a great cup of coffee or take some beans to brew at home, fresh from Eagle River Roasters, your Northwoods coffee roaster and community coffee house.
Here we are, your first trip to Minocqua Popcorn and Puffs.
Cheesy caramel? Cheesy caramel, and I'd like to have some of the Dan's Marvelous Ice Cream also. Wonderful.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
At Lakeside Living Design, we've always got something stylish in store for you.
Whether you're looking for high-quality custom upholstery, decorative accessories and gifts, or are designing your space entirely from scratch, you'll have a friendly designer by your side sharing their expertise, helping you bring your unique style to life. So stop by, explore our showroom, and together we'll make your space feel just like home.
K&S Fuel Injection and Service Center is your source for all vehicle repairs and maintenance. We have the experience and knowledge to get you back up and running in a timely manner. From diesels to cars and trucks, our ASE certified mechanics can restore the dependability of your vehicle. K&S has the OEM diagnostic equipment and tools to repair your vehicle right the first time. Visit K&S Fuel Injection and Service Center in Weston today.
What does it mean to fight for what's right? And who decides what's right? Is it right for an insurance adjuster to try to get you to settle for less than you deserve? Is it right to let victims struggle to pay their medical bills? To us, it means helping accident victims get their lives back to normal again. It means doing what's right for you. Habish, and Rotier. We fight for what's right.
Hi, I'm Maria Seefeld with Miracle-Ear of Marshfield. If you're struggling hearing your favorite news or TV shows, please stop in and see me for a free hearing test.
Welcome back. We actually did not have a Minocqua popcorn winner today, but if you want to enter, here's what you can do.
To enter that special someone or coworker into Newswatch 12's birthday club, head on over to WJFW.com at least 2 weeks before their special day. That's where you can enter their name and upload a photo for us to air. You can also send us a picture and information to the station. Attention Northwoods Birthday Club, 3217 County Road G in Rhinelander.
And your trivia question for today: when did we last have temperatures in the 40s here in Rhinelander? Marissa, what do you think?
I'm gonna go B.
You on B?
I think it might have been even, not that far back. I'm gonna go D, Devin.
And it is actually D, but both of you are technically right in a way as far as everyone, all those choices there had temperatures in the 40s, so December, an unusually warm month for this time of the year. And some almanac stats, this is what the atmosphere can do for this time. And in parts of January, it can get down to as cold as 35 below set back in 1935, but it has made it up to 50 degrees before too, set in 1973, our average high. Now creeping back up to 22 degrees, so some good news in store. Otherwise, just a few snow flurries for us to watch. Otherwise, your next 7 days, those lake effect flurries today, drying out Thursday and Friday.
Still waiting on that snow, but certainly bundle up today.
Absolutely. Maybe get some chocolate or a hot chocolate. It's up to you. Have a great day, and thank you so much for joining us on Newswatch 12 today.
Your latest news and weather tonight on Newswatch 12 at 5.
Good morning. Order up.
Let me be clearest on this point. Help is on the way.
President Biden pledges to boost the vaccine rollout, ordering 200 million more doses in a push to vaccinate most Americans by late summer, as states from coast to coast struggle to keep up with demand.
We're at the mercy of whatever is sent.
This morning, where is the bottleneck and what's causing it? And the CDC's sudden announcement about reopening schools. Falling in line, 45 Republican senators rally to block the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump.
It means that impeachment, the trial, is dead on arrival.
What that means for the Democrats' push to hold Trump accountable, and the Capitol Police holding themselves to account for the first time, apologizing for that